You know, Terry Crews may be one of the most well-known and high-profile men that has come out and openly discussed his own challenges in trying to overcome a porn addiction. And for years now, Terry has shared his story, shared his struggles, both through his own vlog-style videos and also on many major media outlets. And just recently, Terry was interviewed by our good friend here, Ryan Michler, the host of the Order of Man podcast. You guys know I'm a major fan of Ryan. We've had him on the show, big fan of what he's doing and how he's helping men all around the world. And the conversation was centered around true masculinity, but a large part of the discussion between Terry and Ryan was centered around Terry's struggles with porn. He openly talks about how it put him in a position where he felt he was in power, where he felt he was in control, and he owned his family, and he owned other individuals. And then there's other parts of it where Terry talks about actually overcoming this and how he was able to leverage certain tactics and strategies, many of which we've discussed here on this channel. So what I want to do today, guys, is a little bit different style of a video. I want to share with you a small piece of that interview, a small piece of where Terry is actually talking about what his experience was like when he was learning to control his sexual urges, when he was learning to get complete control of his body, and how it radically transformed his relationship with his wife, how it radically transformed his ability to control his triggers, to control his desires, to control his life and his body. And men, if you listen very closely, some of the things that Terry talks about, some of his approaches and strategies are exactly what we've been teaching you here for the last 2+ years. So those of you guys that don't know and are new here, my name is Frank Rich. I'm the CEO, founder, and head coach at Rebuilt Recovery, and it is our mission to help men become better men by quitting porn and rebuilding their lives in 90 days. And for the last 2+ years, we've helped over 2,500 men take back full control of their lives, reboot and rewire their brain. Before we get into Terry's clips, guys, if you guys want to know how we've been doing that, then check out the 7-step guide. I'm going to link it down there in the first pinned comment below. But it's just our exact process and formula that we take guys through this journey of recovery, utilizing many of the things that Terry's going to share with you that were successful in his life, in his journey, that he was given by therapists and doctors. So guys, if you're ready to take the plunge, download the 7-step guide. But I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to come back at the end of this and kind of give you some of my thoughts, how I process what Terry said here. I hope you guys enjoy this. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We drop 7 videos a week at this point. But let's get into this clip and discussion between Terry and Ryan Michler on the Order of Man podcast.
Now, Ryan, I'm gonna break it down to you, man. And this blew me away. And I said, wait a minute, man. The sex is not up to her. It's up to me. I said, I had to learn how to control my sexual urges, just like I control my food, just like I control my emotions, just like I control everything. So you know what I did? Dude, and this was under guidance of a counselor. I went on a 90-day sex fast with my wife. And what was crazy, man, and this blew me away, dude. I said, there's going to be no sex for 3 months. And we're going to be laying in the bed together. We're going to be living together. I'll see you in the shower. I'll do whatever. But I have to tell my body, no. And I mean, no sex, no, nothing. And dude, I fell more in love with her than I ever did. And let me tell you something. You ever have that time? I don't know if you were like me, but I remember a time when I was 12 and there was a girl I liked. And I was like, whatever she wants, I would do for her. I just felt those feelings of love for her. Like, and it wasn't sexual at all. You know what I mean? It was pure. Yeah. It was like, I really care about this girl. Like, will you go with me? Here's a flower. You know, it was these kind of innocent, like, I really care about you. You're my best friend. And I really want to see you win. And I saw the beauty in a girl, not for her body or anything like that, but she was just beautiful for being her. Dude, it happened to my wife. And I went, I don't need this. Sex is not what I need. I need this. And this, what I'm describing is called intimacy. And intimacy means It's someone who knows you, all your faults, all your issues, knows everything about you and loves you regardless. That is what every man is looking for. We think we want sex, but sex sex and love has nothing to do with each other. You know what I mean? You can have sex and no intimacy at all. But intimacy is satisfying. Intimacy, when you're the woman that you love, loves you back and knows everything about you. And let me tell you what the problem was. I wouldn't allow her to know all my faults. When I told my wife and we finally got back together, she was like, I wish you just would have told me. You know what I mean? Like, these are things I was supposed to share with her. And I never did because I was in love with the image. And I wanted to keep that image up. And I wanted to just, and it was a deck of cards, a house of cards that all just came crashing down. And all I had to do was be honest and pure from the first place, just like that little kid in love with that 12-year-old girl who's 12, and stay there. And dude, our marriage went from just to pow. The next 12 years, we have been on a rocket ship because I realized that I was in control of my sexual drive. And I told my body, I said, no, you're gonna get sex when I tell you you're gonna get it. And this is where I started intermittent fasting. I've been intermittent fasting for those same 12 years. I'll tell my body at 2:00 is when you eat. You don't eat anything before that. Even if you have a hunger pain, even whatever, I need to tell you, you're not going to eat until I tell you to eat. And this is the thing that I started to realize. When I say true power, it's like when you realize that you are the master of your body. You are the master of your emotions. You know, you are not the person who says whatever. You know, the thoughts that come to you are not you, but you are the person who hears it. You know what I'm saying? And
soul,
it's like,
right? Like I hear that, I'm thinking your soul.
The soul, that thing is you. And it doesn't have anything to do with sex or food or anything like that. You know what I mean? But it's got all your passions. It's got everything in you as a man, and all your desires, all your goals, all your will, everything you want, everything you need is right there. And man, it was liberating. And I still have been going through tons of therapy, because another thing about therapy was that in my culture, it was looked down upon. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's just masculine. I think you're maybe alluding to maybe Black culture, but I just think that's men culture in general.
It's men. Yeah, it's men too.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. What are your thoughts? What are your takeaways? You know, a couple key things that really stood out to me there was when Terry talked about the intimacy. You know, for those of you guys don't know a lot about my story, I was in a long-term committed relationship when I started down the path of recovery. And I felt much of that between my ex-girlfriend Stephanie and I. The feelings weren't reciprocated, and I understand a lot of that why, but that intimacy, that connection between others has been my experience through the last 2+ years, not in relationships with partners and true intimate relationships, but the ability to connect and get intimate with people all around the world. I spent a week in Nashville with some of the most amazing people changing and transforming the world through the work that they're doing. And I just felt so connected to every single individual in that room. And then he talked about how he was utilizing intermittent fasting, and it's been an integral part of his life for the last 12 years. You guys know, and if you don't know yet, we're going to talk about it in the 7-step guide, that we advise you and push you to begin the journey with a long-term fast. But I'm a big proponent of using a time-restricted intermittent fasting schedule. So like I said, guys, a lot of what Terry shared there is exactly the same stories and the same transformations that I've experienced in my life and all the men that we have helped transform their lives over the last 2+ years. So if something about this video inspired you to take action, if something about what Terry had to share inspired you to begin to work on yourself, begin to get control of your life, of your body, of your desires, so you can ultimately quit porn for good, reboot and rewire your brain, but more importantly, become the man that you know you were created to be, then I'll extend an invitation to you guys. Underneath the 7-step guide down there in the first pinned comment, I'm going to put a link to our booking application page. Okay, we are opening up the doors to bring on some more one-on-one and group coaching clients. So if you're ready and committed, this is only for men that are actually willing and ready to do the work. Because Terry said, it's not easy. This is going to be a challenge. This is going to be a struggle. This is going to require you to look deeper inside of yourself to see what you're truly capable of achieving. So for those of you guys that are interested in actually exploring what that looks like, down there underneath the 7-step guide, guys, like I said, I'm going to put a link to our booking application page. Read the information, fill the application out, and if your application is accepted, jump on a call, book the time, and you and I will talk about how what Terry shared here would look like over the next 3 to 4 months in your life. But thank you guys for tuning in today. I really hope today's video maybe provided something different for you. If you like these style of videos, let me know. I'd be open to doing a lot more of them in the future. But Frank Rich, Rebuild, Recover. I love you guys. We'll see you on the other side.